Hi everyone, it's Hayley from I Do Digital here. Happy hump day. It's Wednesday and Karina and I are at a co-working space, busy working on I Do Digital. So I thought I'd pop into the group and do a bit of a live on comparing platforms, website platforms. It's a common question I see posted around a lot, and I thought it might be worthwhile to really break it down and do a bit of a comparison between WordPress and some of the self-hosted platforms out there, such as Shopify and BigCommerce, Big Cartel. They're all different, and we're big believers in choosing WordPress as a platform. I've been a developer for a number of years now, and I always recommend WordPress as a platform of choice. So I thought I might outline some of the key elements and differences between a lot of the self-hosted platforms out there and WordPress. So WordPress is, just some fun facts. It's a free open source platform. What it is anybody can access it. You just actually need to purchase hosting on top of it. So the difference between WordPress and self-hosted platforms such as Shopify or BigCommerce is that those come with hosting. Now with WordPress, it's actually a platform on its own. You install WordPress onto your domain, and then you can add a theme on top. So that platform actually belongs to you. It's your own asset, which I think is one of the key differences. So with a self-hosted website, such as, if you're going to choose, say, a Shopify for your platform, is actually not yours. So, for example, you could sign up to Shopify, get started on customizing a theme. You could purchase a theme, which can be really expensive. It can start from $29 and go right up to a couple of hundred for a nice Shopify theme. You could also, spend all this money on paying a developer to design you a Shopify theme, and really you're paying them to have your website living on their Shopify, main servers. So really you're restricted by their terms and conditions. I mean, they may decide that, your website isn't functioning in accordance with their terms, and at any given point they could restrict your website or put conditions on there. You're really under, lock and key by them. And so if you ever decide to, say, sell your business one day, you're really selling a package, living on, say, Shopify, as opposed to WordPress. If you do the same process, add a beautiful theme, get it all set up and running, it's your asset. It's your asset to own and keep. It belongs to you. It's definitely a much worthwhile investment to make, whether, you get a web developer or whether you learn how to put it together yourself. So the differences are, with Shopify, it can be quite an expensive process. I think they market the product as, quite cost effective, because they sort of say, the packages start from $29, but they can actually go right up to $300 a month. So if you work it out by numbers, what seems to be just $29 a month, there's really costs that start to creep in. So you'll have, so you'll pay your first initial $29, and then you'll have to pay for a theme. There are some free themes on there, but to get, a beautiful, stylish, say, clean and minimalist theme with premium features, you have to pay for that theme. So, that can, say, be from $80, go right up to $100, $150. I've seen some themes. And then you've got to factor in transaction costs. So with Shopify, they add on their own transaction fees, as well as your payment gateway, such as PayPal or Stripe. So essentially, you could be paying, quite a lot for what seemingly, seems like a good deal. If it's only, I think, those new to business, and when they're shopping around for platforms, they'll look at Shopify or BigCommerce and just see, the monthly charge and think, great, that's all I'll have to pay, and I'll be, it's out of the box and I'll be on my way. But anyone who's ever set up a Shopify theme or a Shopify website will know the work that's involved with that, and you have to pay ongoing costs in order to maintain that. So it's important to really do your research from the very beginning before you launch your website, and pick a platform that really suits. Something to also note with WordPress, the benefits are huge because you actually own your data as well. So, for example, you may pay for a theme, and you're paying you're paying for the theme license for a period of time. So the theme is yours to use however long you want, but when you pay for a theme, you also get bonus support. So that can be really helpful when you're customizing your website on WordPress and you need a little bit of assistance. So with that theme comes with a period of support, and then you're paying for updates as you go along. You do need to manage your website on an ongoing basis, but it's really not that hard to learn, really. So, it's important that you understand that you own your data so that really all your hard work is paid off. So you may be spending the time, installing WordPress, picking a beautiful theme, customizing it, getting it to a point it's almost perfect, setting up the right backup and security plugins to make sure that your site is backed up. And then your finished product, there are no monthly costs. So you do need hosting with WordPress, but you can source really affordable hosting. Hosts such as SiteGround will charge $4.95 a month, and that comes with really decent bandwidth, great 24/7 live chat support and ticket support, business emails, which is really great to have a very professional front. Really they're there for you in case any kind of outages or you go over your bandwidth and you need more memory. They are there to support you. Even this morning our I Do Digital website momentarily went down, and the first thing I did was got on the phone went on to live chat to support, and within 10 minutes it was sorted out and we were back in business. So you're picking a really good, reliable host with great support is really important. But there is another method rather than just going with a self-hosted platform like Shopify or BigCommerce or Big Cartel or Wix. There are other options that, such as WordPress, that is really, in my professional opinion, is a much more robust platform to be on, much more reliable, and for your long-term vision, it's the platform that you really need to be on. You'd be surprised. I think a misconception out there is that WordPress is only a blogging tool, and I think back when it first started, I think it was, but it has expanded to include WooCommerce, which is when you want to set up an online store. So you can do that by simply, adding in WooCommerce. So you may start with just a simple, blogging website on WordPress, or say a standard website with no payment gateway and no, online store at all, and decide that you want to level up and go, take your website to the next level and monetize it. And you may want to add an online store with digital products, or if you're e-commerce, that is the capability that WordPress offers. So it's extremely wide in capabilities. Whereas if you're with, say, Shopify, you are limited. Stock inventory is a very big restriction on a lot of the self-hosted platforms. Some of the WooCommerce features are quite unique and broad, such as shipping notifications and order confirmation emails. And, within WooCommerce, there is a whole library full of options that you can include. You can monitor inventory, look at stock levels, have shipping configuration. You can integrate it with your shipping carrier. WordPress is the most widely integratable platform on the market. So, I think it's important that when you've got a business concept, or say you've got a business existing business and you want to set up another side business or a micro site, that you look at WordPress as the platform to create that website from, because it's really not that hard to put together a WordPress website. We've just launched our How to Build a Website platform that teaches you how to build a website from scratch. So it covers everything from, installing WordPress, how to attach that WordPress to your domain, what domains to purchase, what hosting to choose. It's a step-by-step actionable course that teaches you, how to source a beautiful theme, one that matches your industry, and I think that's really important that, theme purchase can be a real stumbling block for a lot of people, because I guess it's a pretty big decision. It's one thing, once you've decided on WordPress for your platform, great, how am I going to make it look professional and beautiful and really have a high-class website. So when I was starting out, my very first website was on my Petite Bamboo e-commerce store, and so if you want to check it out, it's petitebamboo.com.au. I've since sold the business, so it's looking a little bit different to the way that I originally built it. They put on a different theme of late, but it's an example of what you can really achieve yourself. I mean, when I set up that website, I was a newbie. I was looking at YouTube videos, reading blogs, signing up to lots of e-courses, and that's the finished product. And it really, I was a layperson at the time, so it really is easier than you may think. And I think with the right training, I mean, I had to just go it alone and fumble across lots of different YouTube videos to try and figure it out and get advice from, some of the professionals out there, lots of little mini courses. And so that's really the inspiration why I put this course together, because it's my learnings over the last 7 years. It's my passion, and you'll learn really from my mistakes. So if you're considering building a microsite, or you have a business idea and you want to set up a site from scratch, I've got the formula and the strategy and really the step-by-step process to be able to do that. What you need to do at the very beginning, and then what you need to do at the very end, and how to take care of your website and make sure it's backed up and has the right security. I sort of teach you how to pair the aesthetics with the functionality, make sure everything's done in the right order. So at the end of the 4-week program, you'll have a beautiful finished site. So if you're looking at signing up to the course, I'll post a link in the comments so you can check it out. And I hope this has given you a little bit of an insight into comparing some of the platforms out there when you're choosing your website, because it is a really big decision. I think that a lot of students come to me and they say, look, I've got this fabulous idea for a business, I think it will really work, and they're up to the stage of picking platforms. And I know how to design on self-hosted platforms, but I just don't recommend them, because I think as a startup, you need to be budget conscious. You need to monitor costs, and there'll be costs with purchasing stock, or other costs if you're a service-based businesses. So when you're a startup, you usually don't have a budget, and that's what I have in the back of my mind, and that's why I wanted to create this course, so that it's a really cost-effective option. All you'd have to pay is the cost of the course, and then you know how to build a WordPress site to go on and build further websites for your businesses. You don't want to have to rely on a developer every single time that you want to make tweaks to your website, or to build another website and outlay thousands of dollars. Just imagine what it would be like to actually build your own. And I think it sounds scary, building your own website, but I was once in a position where I, had to succumb to BigCommerce. That's where I had my start, and it was a completely frustrating experience, because I just couldn't get all the moving pieces to work. I couldn't get the website. I was so restricted, and trying to get the website to work the way I wanted it to work, try to make it align with my brand message and, what I was trying to achieve. And I was constantly on the phone. If anyone can relate out there, feel free to pop in a comment. I was constantly on the phone to support, trying to figure out what was what, trying to find a solution to every little tiny problem that I had. I think my husband saw me, you know, on the phone to BigCommerce support through many late sleepless nights, trying to find a resolution to every tiny little thing, which is really my motivation for switching to WordPress, and I just haven't looked back. I've actually now become an expert and a specialist in it, so that's kind of how passionate I am about that platform, and it's the one you need to choose. Not to mention other features, such as once you've built your website, it's great to take it to market because it's, you know, really powerful for SEO. They're very clean code, and especially when you're putting a fresh brand new WordPress onto a domain, extremely clean, and Google just loves clean code. It can navigate the site really well. There's lots of SEO plugins to put on there so that you can have the right foundations. You know, you can put custom analytics on WordPress, so, you know, it makes it really easy to track your data, look at the channels to see where your traffic is coming from. So, yeah, to me, WordPress is just a clear winner. So if you've got any questions, feel free to, you know, post them and I'll do my best to answer them. And I hope you have a lovely Wednesday. We've had a brilliant week of weather this week in Sydney, and now I'm just looking out the window and it's raining. So I was going to walk to our co-working space today, and I'm lucky that I didn't. I saw the clouds, I had my gym gear on, I saw the clouds and thought, no, I will take the car and be a bit sensible today. So anyway, I hope you've had a lovely week so far. And if you missed the webinar, the replay has been sent out to you, the webinar on how to build a website, the masterclass we put together. It has been sent out to you if you registered. If you missed it, we'll post a link in the group and you can just register if you haven't already done so, and watch the replay there. And we hope to see you in the group. Okay, thank you, bye.